It all begins with a disturbing historical reference. The first documented case of hydrophobia is believed to have occurred around 2,300 years ago. Hydrophobia is an intense fear of water that can appear as a psychological disorder known as aquaphobia, or far more commonly and dangerously as one of the most severe symptoms of rabies. In this case, the infected person or animal suffers extremely painful spasms when trying to drink, or even when simply seeing water, as a direct result of the virus attacking the central nervous system. In chimpanzees, this condition can trigger drastic behavioral changes, turning them impulsive, violent, and highly aggressive, capable of attacking anyone who crosses their path. This is how the movie begins. In the middle of thick darkness, surrounded by branches and dense bushes, a kind-looking veterinarian appears, visibly upbeat. He arrives with what seems like a simple mission: give a vaccine to a chimp named Ben. Little Ben, who at first glance looks cute and harmless, waits calmly, almost too calmly, but that innocence lasts only seconds. Without any warning, the chimp brutally attacks the veterinarian, killing him and violently tearing apart his face in a moment that's as sudden as it is deeply disturbing. Next, a series of news reports appears, expanding the context of the story. They mention that chimpanzees have learned to communicate using up to 300 words, which has led to them being accepted more naturally as pets inside human homes. After this informative introduction, the timeline rewinds 35 hours before the events involving the veterinarian. That's when we meet Lucy, a young woman boarding a plane bound for Hawaii, heading back home. During the flight, a guy accidentally trips and bumps into her while Lucy is talking on the phone with her sister. The guy picks up his teddy bear, laughs, apologizes, and the moment doesn't seem important at all right then. Lucy resumes the conversation with her sister Erin, who we see at home living with a chimpanzee. Erin tells her that everything is ready for her arrival. After the call ends, Lucy talks with her best friend Kate, with plans to spend the weekend at her house. Shortly after, a friend of Kate named Hannah shows up and starts talking to Phil, the friend of the guy who bumped into Lucy, named Drew, who helps her carry her luggage. Hannah, clearly interested, asks him for his phone number. Once they're in their seats, Hannah tells Lucy that she's sitting in her assigned spot and decides to take the middle seat so she can talk to both of them during the flight. When they finally arrive at their destination, Kate's brother is waiting to pick them up and drive them to Lucy's house. During the ride, it becomes clear that he's subtly flirting with Hannah, a situation that makes Lucy visibly uncomfortable and hints at tensions that will slowly build later in the story. They all eventually head to Lucy's house. There, Lucy reunites with her father Adam, who is deaf and communicates through sign language. At that moment, Adam is in the middle of a conversation about a possible publishing deal for his book, a deal he hasn't been able to close yet. Despite his frustration, his mood completely changes when he sees his daughter arrive, becoming visibly emotional and happy about the reunion. Shortly after, Kate formally introduces Hannah to Lucy's father and explains that they'll be spending the weekend staying at the house. Later on, Kate's brother arrives, and it becomes clear that Lucy feels a special attraction toward him, something noticeable in both her behavior and the way she looks at him. Later on, Lucy meets up with her sister Erin, who's clearly upset and holding on to some resentment. Lucy was gone for a long time and Erin felt completely alone during that period. To ease the tension, Lucy hands a teddy bear to the chimpanzee, the same one we saw earlier on the plane, which lightens the mood and creates a brief moment of connection between the sisters. That's when it's revealed that the chimp uses Erin's tablet to communicate through an app that turns written messages into spoken words. Ben, the chimp, already knows how to use it perfectly, allowing him to interact with his owners in a surprisingly smooth way. They then properly introduce Ben to Lucy, since Kate, her best friend for years, and Kate's brother are already familiar with him. Later on, Hannah takes a short walk through the house and stops to look at several photos of Lucy. That's when Kate's brother shows up and tells her that Lucy's mother passed away some time ago. He also explains that she was a primatologist, a scientist dedicated to studying primates, their evolution, biology, anatomy, and social behavior, using fields like biology, anthropology, and psychology to better understand these species and their relationship with humans. It was actually her who back in the day brought Ben into the house. After that reveal, Kate's brother offers Hannah a cigarette in a clearly flirtatious tone and after a brief exchange walks away, leaving her alone and lost in thought in the quiet hallway. Following that moment, Hannah decides to explore the house more carefully and eventually makes her way to the pool, a massive silent pool that dominates the outside of the property. Suddenly, the chimp appears right beside her. When Ben locks his eyes on the water, it becomes painfully clear that he's suffering from hydrophobia, an unmistakable symptom of rabies. The animal starts showing alarming signs: excessive sweating, uncontrollable drooling, and labored breathing. Ben reaches out his hand toward Hannah, and when she cautiously offers hers, he violently tries to bite her. Right then, Adam shows up and manages to control the chimp using a whistle, quickly leading him away. He then calms Hannah down, explaining that Ben reacted that way because she's a stranger to him, and suggests it would be best for her to go rest. Later on, as Adam walks Ben toward his small enclosure, surrounded by thick vegetation and bushes, the same one we saw at the beginning of the movie, he discovers the lifeless body of an animal, apparently a mongoose. Alarmed, Adam asks Ben if he got into a fight with any of the animals nearby. Taking a closer look, he notices the chimp has a bite mark, which pushes him to make an immediate decision: lock Ben in his cage as a precaution. The next morning, Adam tells his children that a mongoose got into Ben's enclosure and bit him. Just to be safe, he sent the animal's body to be tested since there's a chance it could have passed on a disease. He also explains that he's going to call veterinarian Lamster to check on Ben as soon as possible, and that for now, Ben will stay locked up. The moment turns emotional as everyone hugs like a close family because Adam has to leave for a few days due to work and says goodbye before heading out. Hours later, with him gone, we see the young group start to relax and have fun in the pool. Later on, Hannah grows noticeably closer to Kate's brother, sparking obvious jealousy in Lucy. Uncomfortable with the situation, Lucy steps in and suggests that Hannah call the cute guys they met on the plane, the ones she liked so much. Hannah, in a defiant tone, dares Lucy to do it herself. Without thinking twice, Lucy accepts the challenge and makes the call, setting off a new wave of tension between them. Not long after, Kate's mom calls to remind her to feed the fish, but Lucy is the one who answers. During the call, Kate suddenly starts feeling sick and ends up throwing up, so they hang up right away. Lucy helps her to her room and gets her to lie down so she can rest for a bit. In that moment, their bond really shows when we see they share a split heart necklace, a symbol of their deep friendship and all the years they've spent together as best friends. Later on, Hannah talks alone with Kate's brother. She tells him that Lucy keeps trying to impress him, but he makes it clear that he only sees her as a little sister and would never be with her. To make his point even stronger, he leans in and kisses Hannah, and the two of them end up kissing intensely, completely unaware that Lucy is watching from behind, silently witnessing the moment and clearly hurt by what she sees. Meanwhile, Dr. Lambert arrives at the house to examine little Ben. The chimp is extremely frightened and agitated, and this moment directly connects to the scene we saw at the very beginning of the movie. Right after that, the story shifts focus again and shows Kate, who's starting to feel a bit better. She wakes up and walks through the house looking for some fresh air, but along the way, she finds the teddy bear. At that exact moment, Ben appears, but he's not acting like himself anymore. He seems strange, hostile, staring at her with an aggressive look. Terrified, Kate hides and immediately calls Lucy for help. When Lucy comes downstairs to find her, Ben is already gone. Suddenly, they hear screams coming from the pool, so they run toward the sound. When they arrive, Ben seems to calm down for a moment, but Kate's brother notices the chimp is still acting dangerously. After a few seconds of hesitation, he slowly grabs a rope, planning to tie him up. Ben fights back and struggles, but in the end, Lucy manages to calm him down, petting him and tricking him just enough to let them tie him up. In the middle of a tense silence, they try to reach veterinarian Lambert, only to realize the phone ringing is coming from inside Ben's cage. That's when Aaron arrives and is shocked to see the chimp tied up, but Ben bites through the rope, snaps it, and frees himself. In seconds, he lunges straight at Aaron and attacks her, unleashing pure chaos and marking a major turning point in the story. They can't stop him, and with no way to face him head-on, they make a desperate choice: jump into the pool. Ben watches them closely, pacing back and forth, blocking every possible way out of the water. At one point, the chimp moves to the far side, seemingly leaving an opening to escape. But on the other end, there's a sheer drop straight into the ocean packed with sharp rocks, making that route impossible. That's when Kate's brother Nick comes up with a risky plan: push Ben into the abyss. Determined, he swims toward the chimp and manages to shove him. For a brief second, it looks like it worked, but it didn't. Ben grabs onto the edge at the last moment and is left hanging, swinging dangerously over the void. Taking advantage of a split second when Nick lets his guard down, the chimp launches himself up with brutal strength and yanks him hard, slamming Nick violently onto the ground. The impact is devastating. His head shatters on contact, killing him instantly in a graphic, horrifying moment. Nick's death sends the girls into total shock, especially Kate, who freezes, completely broken by what she's just witnessed. Ben doesn't run. Instead, he keeps pushing them further into terror. He lets out a disturbing, almost mocking laugh while drooling uncontrollably, confirming their worst fear. The chimp is infected with rabies. Realizing how serious things are, Lucy understands that her sister Erin needs medical help immediately. Moving with extreme caution, Lucy slowly climbs out of the pool while Ben stays seated, staring straight at her, unblinking. Her goal is to reach a life ring and throw it into the water so the others can stay afloat longer. Lucy grabs the life ring and tosses it into the pool, but she doesn't jump in right away. Instead, she dangerously moves closer to Ben. The phone is right near him. She knows she has to call for help, no matter the risk. Just as it looks like Ben is about to grab her, one of the girls manages to distract the chimp, pulling his attention away for a few crucial seconds. That distraction gives Lucy just enough time to grab the phone and dive back into the pool. But when they try to call for help, they realize the screen cracked during the chaos earlier and the keypad doesn't work. Panicking, they open the recent calls list and dial the last number on it. To their disbelief, the call connects to the guys from the plane who are in the middle of a party, totally unaware of the nightmare unfolding on the other end of the line. Lucy and her friend beg for help, but the guys brush it off. They just want to have fun and think it's all a sick joke. In the middle of that frustration, Ben manages to swing across the hanging hanging lights above the pool and suddenly lunges at Hannah, violently ripping out part of her hair. Terrified, Erin asks why Ben is acting like this. That's when Lucy, torn between fear and resignation, says something chilling. Ben isn't really in that body anymore, hinting that something darker has taken control of him. At the same time, we cut to Adam signing copies of his book at an event. Right then, he gets a call from the veterinarian, but he chooses to hang up. Shortly after, she texts him saying the mongoose tested positive for rabies. Adam, doubtful, replies that there is no rabies in Hawaii. The vet answers that they'll run new tests since the sample may have been contaminated during transport. Worried now, Adam tries calling Lucy, but she doesn't answer because her phone was left behind in her room. Back at the house, the girls realize they have no other choice but to go get Nick's phone, which was left in the living room. Lucy carefully climbs out of the pool, and Kate goes with her. They manage to reach the entrance, slowly open the door, and sneak inside. They move through the living room in silence until they spot the phone, but as they get closer, they accidentally hit the TV remote. The television turns on instantly. The sound alerts Ben and he comes rushing down right away. With no other options left, the girls are forced to hide inside a closet to avoid being seen. Ben walks toward the TV, where an animated show is playing. For a moment, it looks like he's calmed down, but suddenly, in a violent burst of rage, he smashes the television. Startled, Kate steps back and knocks over a few objects, making noise and once again drawing the chimp's attention. Ben heads straight for the closet and starts slamming into the doors, ripping them apart with raw force. The girls hide among the clothes, barely breathing. Ben breaks into the closet and searches frantically. He gets dangerously close but somehow doesn't find them and eventually leaves. Lucy decides to come out first. Using sign language, she communicates with her best friend Kate, telling her to stay hidden while she keeps moving and tries to find a way to survive. As Lucy steps out of her hiding spot, she grabs the phone and desperately tries to call for help. That's when she hears Ben using the tablet, repeating a chilling phrase, "Lucy bad." The words instantly put her on edge. She looks up and sees the chimp perched above, watching her with a threatening stare. She tries to run, but Ben leaps down and violently attacks her. Kate reacts instantly, grabbing a stick and striking the chimp to save her friend. Thanks to that desperate move, the girls manage to escape the house and slam the door shut behind them, but Ben knows how to open it and starts forcing his way out, until Kate manages to hold him off for a few crucial seconds. Then the chimp starts slamming into the glass with pure rage. It doesn't break right away and Ben backs off, clearly furious. For a moment, that gives the girls a false sense of relief, but Lucy quickly realizes the truth. Ben didn't stop because he gave up. He stepped back to get distance. Seconds later, the chimp charges full speed and smashes straight through the glass. Terrified, the girls take off running. During the escape, Ben catches Kate, strikes her, and sends her crashing down the stairs that lead to the pool. Lucy rushes after her, but suddenly Kate is no longer beside her. She hears her screams and runs toward the sound, arriving just in time to witness Ben grab a rock and slam it into Kate's head over and over again, killing her brutally without mercy. After murdering Kate, Ben turns his attention to Lucy. She runs without stopping, and as she tries to jump into the pool, the chimp catches her and attacks again. At that moment, Hannah climbs out of the pool to help. She grabs a rope, wraps it around Ben's neck, and jumps into the water along with Lucy. Both of them pull with everything they've got, trying to drag the chimp into the pool and drown him, knowing Ben can't swim. But their strength isn't enough. Ben breaks free, once again crushing their chance to survive. Meanwhile, Adam wraps up his work successfully, but he can't shake the worry. His daughters still aren't answering. On top of that, the thought that his chimp might be infected with rabies keeps growing heavier in his mind, turning from a doubt into a real fear. At the same time, the guys from the plane, Drew and Phil, arrive at Lucy's house after she shared her exact location during the call. Once there, they split up to look for the girls, thinking it's all some kind of joke or surprise. What they don't know is that Ben has already spotted them. Silent and focused, the chimp starts following them, ready to kill. Soon after, Drew reaches one of the rooms, convinced the girls must be there. When he realizes they're not, he starts looking around more carefully, turning on the lights, scanning the furniture, picking up a framed photo. That's when he discovers something unsettling. The girls have a chimpanzee as a pet. The situation turns unsettling when suddenly Drew comes face to face with Ben. The chimp slowly moves toward him, intimidating him with its presence, and Drew tries to stay calm while looking for a way to distract him. At first, he acts friendly, almost playful. He asks Ben to clap, and surprisingly, Ben does. Then Drew pulls out his keys and shakes them to grab his attention, planning to throw them away and buy himself time to escape. But the plan fails. Ben doesn't go for the keys. Instead, he keeps moving closer, slow and threatening. Drew keeps playing along for a few more seconds, but But when it's clear the chimp isn't stopping and is turning openly aggressive, he snaps. Fear and desperation take over, and he starts insulting Ben, hurling curse after curse that only makes Ben angrier. In a sudden burst of brutal violence, the chimp lunges at Drew, grabs him by the mouth, and with inhuman strength rips his jaw clean off. The scene turns grotesque and deeply disturbing as Ben plays with it like a toy, then places it back onto Drew's lifeless body, marking one of the most shocking and macabre deaths in the entire story. After that, Ben goes looking for the last guy. The young man manages to find the girls, who are still hiding in the pool. Lucy wakes up right then, and when she sees him, desperately signals for him to stay quiet and call for help. He ignores her warnings and starts yelling, sealing his own fate. The screams immediately draw Ben in. The chimp shows up to intimidate him, still carrying Drew's jaw to make it even more terrifying. Phil tries to run and, in pure desperation, grabs a shovel to defend himself. While Ben brutally attacks him, Hannah takes advantage of the distraction, climbs out of the pool, and escapes. She runs without looking back, grabs her keys and phone, and rushes out of the house. In the chaos, she jumps into the wrong car, the guy's car. Realizing her mistake, she tries to reach her own vehicle, but Ben reappears. That's when Hannah understands something horrifying. The chimp isn't just violent, he's smart. Ben has her car keys, making locked doors useless. With chilling calm, the animal unlocks the car and slowly moves toward her. Terrified, Hannah calls emergency services and begs for help. The operator asks for the address, but Hannah can't remember it and desperately pleads for them to trace the call. Right then, the chimp opens the trunk and climbs into the car. Even as Hannah desperately tries to escape, the animal catches her, violently drags her inside the vehicle, and kills her without mercy. The scene ends with the car completely covered in blood. Back with Lucy, she finally climbs out of the pool and heads toward the house. She doesn't notice the debris scattered across the floor and steps on a shard of glass, sending a sharp wave of pain through her foot and forcing out a cry she barely manages to hold back. Still, it's already too late. Ben is there and launches into another attack. At that exact moment, Lucy's father, Adam, arrives home. Hearing the car, Ben gets distracted and runs after him. Even wounded, Lucy tries to follow, desperate to warn her father. Adam walks into the house and finds the place completely trashed. Disoriented, he heads to the dining area and with unsettling calm grabs a slice of pizza, completely unaware that Lucy is right behind him, trying to get his attention. In that moment, Ben reappears, lunges at Lucy and attacks her again. Adam, oblivious to what's happening, doesn't notice a thing and goes upstairs, leaving his daughter once more at the mercy of the chimp. Lucy manages to pull away from Ben for a moment. He suddenly seems calm again, slowly walking toward her in a way that feels almost familiar. He takes her hand like he recognizes her, but it's all a lie. In a split second, the chimp violently snaps Lucy's wrist. Fighting through the pain and panic, Lucy presses down on one of Ben's open wounds and manages to crawl underneath a couch. Still, Ben doesn't give up and keeps trying to reach her, raging even harder. That's when Aaron appears and manages to draw the chimp's attention. Ben immediately charges at her. Lucy knows Ben is far stronger now and infected with rabies, so she gathers whatever strength she has left to stop him and save her sister. Meanwhile, Adam discovers Drew's remains and instantly realizes the truth. Horrified, he runs through the house, desperate to find his daughters. At the same time, Ben viciously attacks Lucy again, and just as it looks like he's about to kill her, Adam arrives and tries to distract the chimp with his whistle. But the sound doesn't calm Ben at all. He backs off Lucy only to launch himself at Adam with even more brutal force. Adam still stands his ground, fighting to protect his daughters, but Ben is far stronger, and it looks like he's about to kill him. Faced with the scene, Lucy grabs a shovel and starts hitting the chimp, trying to kill him and avenge her friend's deaths, but things don't go as planned. The shovel snaps in half and Ben immediately takes advantage, attacking her again. Right then, Adam manages to get back up once more and strikes the chimp, leaving him briefly stunned. Adam spots a bottle nearby, grabs it, and smashes it against Ben's head. When it breaks, he uses the sharp glass to stab it straight into Ben's chest, seemingly piercing the animal's heart. It looks like Ben has finally been defeated. The family hugs each other, convinced it's finally over, but the calm lasts only a few seconds. Ben slowly gets back up and charges one last time at the family. Lucy realizes what's happening and, in a moment of pure sacrifice, pushes her father and sister aside, ready to take the attack herself. They fall, but at the final moment, Adam grabs Lucy's hand. In the end, it's Ben who falls, crashing onto a wooden structure that impales him completely, ending his life once and for all. Shortly after, the police arrive, having managed to trace the call. Erin is rushed to the hospital to receive treatment for rabies, and the doctors confirm that she's going to recover. Adam and Lucy hug each other, exhausted and still in shock after everything they've been through. Suddenly, Lucy hears the tablet Ben used to communicate, repeating the phrase, "Lucy bad," which startles her, until she realizes it's just one of the officers messing with the device. And that's how this terrifying story comes to an end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. That's it for today. See you next time.